Hello, welcome to Press and Play. This is Heather, and thank you for joining me. I am doing a fun little set, just throwing a whole bunch of stuff together and seeing what works. And right there, I was just filing the little nubbies off of the tips, and now I am adding a primer, thinking that maybe I don't need to buff if I prime. We will see if that's true or not. Unfortunately, I can't really tell with the set because I didn't wear it. I just kind of made it for fun. So I'll try it again on a set I'm actually going to wear. And then I'm going to add onto, I believe that is the thumb and the ring finger, I think. I am adding Model 1's 1634. No, that is not what I'm adding. I'm adding 0157 is the pink that I'm adding. Model 1's. And then I don't show it because it's already a long video, even sped up, and I took out a lot of stuff. But I do add 2 coats of this to those nails. I had to cut a lot out. There's a lot of trial and error happening on this set. And then this is the 1634. And this is like a milky color from Model 1's. I end up using an E-Nail Couture Milky in this on the same nail later for a different part, and I actually wish I had switched those around because the Model 1's was more transparent, which actually worked better for what I was trying to achieve. And then that Model 1's wasn't opaque enough, even though I still wanted jelly, that I ended up putting 3 coats on. This is the Macarte Blanc that I'm using, and this I also do 2 coats on. I actually really like this white. A good portion of this is just me playing around. The edited version, there were a lot more designs I tried and things that didn't quite work out. Lots of little small fails and small wins in this set. And this is a glitter I got at Daisio, which actually was the inspiration for the set. These colors. It actually took me like 5 minutes to get that wrapper off. I don't know if anyone has Daisio glitters, but getting those wrappers off are rough. So here's a little fail for me. I thought I could apply the glitter to just having like the stickiness from the, like what was left from curing, which wasn't enough for what I was trying to do. I needed more. It's not working, which I will figure out very soon. Right now. Can I get it? Can I just brush them off? No, you cannot just brush them off. They're not sticky enough to completely stay, but they're also not going to come off without a little help. And I do end up using Model 1's base coat to stick that on. I really like these little glitters. I think they're so pretty. My whole idea was to have like the milky underneath and then have them peek through. So this that you're seeing, like the base is actually 3 coats of that other, of the milky base coat from Model 1s. And that would have been better on top. And then having the E-Nail Couture Milky, I think it's called Milky Shine, underneath, because that's a lot more opaque. But things for another set. Honestly, at this point, it was just seeing what I can kind of do with it. She's finally getting close to being done. Yay! And then I'm going to do some more, and then put it in the lamp to cure. Here I'm taking off the sticky layer. So here is another moment of fail. So I have used chromes before just directly on a nail polish, and it was fine. In this case, it was not fine. It would not lay down properly. And I was like, okay, this is weird. And I tried to get a tool and try to rub it in, and it just, I couldn't get it to stick. And I couldn't figure out why. Like I said, I had done it before and it had been fine. I don't know if it's this specific white or if I was breaking a rule and just got lucky before. Not really sure, but it was not having any part of my chrome situation here. It said absolutely not. So I think, okay, well, I'll put something on it so it can stick to. And here was my thinking, which I realized from watching other people, it was not the correct thinking. I was thinking if I put a base coat and then cure it, it would stick to it. I think I really needed a top coat and not a base coat. But the reason I was thinking a base coat would work is because I have the Statico chromes. It's like the mineral chromes, and that whole procedure is you put a base coat down, cure it, and then rub the pigments on, and then put a top coat over that. So I don't think that's the normal procedure for getting chromes to stick. So it kind of had me a little bit backwards. And I don't know if, like, for their system, like, their base coat isn't like a normal base coat. I'm not really sure, but that was my thinking. So the base coat is now in the lamp. And here I'm taking the E-Nail Couture Milky Shine top coat, which would have been actually way better underneath, because as you see, it's got like a lot more pigment to it. But I wanted to basically like encapsulate that glitter. It still was a cool effect. It just wasn't exactly what I was aiming for. But I could see actually with like some darker glitter that would be pretty cool with this milky one on top. But if I had switched them around, I would have come a lot closer to what I was aiming for. And I'm going to cure that. Now I'm back. And I'm wiping off that sticky layer. Maybe that also wasn't the best idea. I'm not really sure. That, honestly, this was a whole bucket full of fail. So, as you can see, it's like grabbing in some places, but... And honestly, looking at now, like, it's too dark for the set I was doing, so it's kind of a blessing in disguise. But even still, I don't want to not do something because I messed it up. I'd rather make a choice that, oh, I don't like it, as opposed to, I can't get this thing to stick, because that's exactly where I was in this set. I just couldn't to lay down properly. It did in some areas, and then some areas absolutely not. It said nope. Nope. Better luck next time. I couldn't figure out, though, why it decided to stick in some places and not in others. I thought that was such a bizarre thing. Yeah, frustrated hands. Asking why. And then I'm like, well, maybe the chromes are broken. So I try one of the Statico chromes to see if that will do a better job. And it's the same result. So maybe had I put like the Statico base coat on instead. But at that point, I wasn't even thinking that. I was already kind of in the, why isn't this working for me? And that's not even, nope. Forget it. Those bottles are pretty, by the way. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're like rose gold top. They're so pretty. So here I've got my glitter. It's like the like kind of angel paper glitter. The Mylar, I think it is. And I'm just wiping the sticky coat off, but it really didn't have one from the milky top coat. It wasn't sticky at all. And I'm just buffing away with like the worst buffer to do this kind of thing with. Fine for little projects, but I think I need to get myself like a better buffer. Maybe at least just bigger, because it's more comfortable, I think, if you have a bigger size. And I'm not only just buffing away the pieces that were sticking out, but I'm also kind of reshaping it because it got a little bit thick. I just took out a regular file. I just said, forget it. This thing is not getting anywhere. Would have been there for 3 hours buffing that. And I am sorry if the speed is jarring. If it's bothering anybody, just let me know in the comments. I'm still so new at this, and I'm trying to get as much of what I'm doing into the video without making it 500 years long. But still showing my journey, what I'm doing. So also for transparency of like where I'm at in learning this whole art style, but also just so if somebody sees something and they're like, hey, did you know if you did this, it wouldn't take you 5 years, or you might get better results if you try this. So I'm definitely open to that. Yeah, I got it pretty smooth. I'm looking at it now and I'm like, I would have buffed more on this side, but you know, I think when we look back, we are our own worst critics. So here I am taking that Model 1 Milky Gel, which is 1634. And I am going to make my attempt at first time making clouds. And I was thinking with the milkiness, I didn't want like cartoony clouds. I wanted kind of soft, kind of fluffy clouds. And I'm completely using the wrong product and the wrong brush for what I was after, but that's what I'm learning here right now. It's just a blob, which might have worked had I been going for like more poofy clouds, but not for what I was aiming for. So here I put some of the Macart Blanc on my palette so I can use that. And I still haven't figured out what I want to do as far as the brush goes. So I decided to try to kind of get that look with my ball tool. And then I decided I would use some of that milkiness to kind of give the clouds a little bit of transparency in parts. Just kind of thin it out a little bit so it just didn't look solid white. I will tell you, not on this nail, but I definitely get my clouds into a better place later on after this. But I had to go through this whole situation just to get to the clouds that I wanted. And like I said, this whole set is like nothing but trial and error, just ideas I had floating in my head and wanted to try out. I think the overall of the set came out okay. But I'm very picky and looking at my own work, and especially when you're looking at each individual element, I know there's a lot of room for improvement. But I think I was looking at it almost kind of like when I paint with oils on a canvas, about spreading it out, using something to kind of thin it down a little bit in certain areas to get that kind of more realistic or painterly look of a cloud, as opposed to the cartoony kind of, 3 bumps, which is cute too. It has its place for sure. Just that wasn't what I was aiming for today. So I just kind of plot with my dotting tool the actual white, and then jump in with that more clear, more transparent white to give it a little bit of an airiness, wispiness to the clouds. There I'm just using a little alcohol to clean up. And that's in the lamp. So we're back to this nail again, and I think I just gave up on the whole chrome situation. And oh no, can't see, and I forgot to write down what that color is. Well, that's another Model 1's. Maybe I'll flash by what color that is. But I just decided I gave up on the chrome for the day. I was frustrated at that point and just said, you know what, we're moving on. And it didn't, after all of that shenanigans, it wasn't even adhering very well. I probably should have given it a good buff before putting that color on so it would stick better. But I had kind of moved a wee bit into frustration land, so And since I was trying all these different things on all these different nails, it was like I put one thing away and then there was another thing I was trying something new on. And then here I just decided to take a little bit of the more opaque white to kind of add a little bit of dimension back into the clouds. So there would be some parts of it kind of stepping forward and some of it back, like you would see in a real cloud. I don't hate it. I'm not in love with it. I know I can do better, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been, I guess. And there, yeah, you can see it's just not sticking well. So I should have buffed it. And then here I am going to create some 3D art, and I'm using that gem for the body of a butterfly. I didn't have anything that was like more on the oval side, and I really liked that color. I was going to tie everything in, so I was like, well, you're just going to have a square body butterfly and deal with it. It's an abstract butterfly, it's fine. But it's got like the back is pointy. It's a pointy back. So I sit here fiddling a bit, trying to get it to actually stand up on the point. Because I didn't want it to fully lean over, because it might have actually worked just fine, but I wanted the wings to go underneath that, to come out from underneath that. So there, I'm sitting there just trying to get it to stand up. But the McCart gemstone glue actually made that possible. It's thick enough that it did stand up. A little flash cure with the flashy lamp. Perfect name for that. The flashy lamp. And there I've got some 3D gel, and it's just clear. And I do keep my gloves on this time. If you watched my first 3D art video, I did not keep them on, and I promised I would keep them on. And I do, even though everything was sticking to my gloves. I didn't get my new gloves yet at this point that fit me better. And there, I'm just going to roll out a snake and then try to create somewhat equal parts for the wings, 4 equal parts. And I do in between use a little bit of alcohol when it got too sticky, just to help keep it off of either my tool or my gloves. And there I'm just using a silicone tool to shape the wings. It was a lot easier this time around working with it. I just think it's another one of those things, the more you play, the easier it gets. But it is challenging because it sticks to you, and it generally wants to stick to the thing you don't want it to stick to. Like if you want it to stick to the nail, it's not going to want to stick to the nail. It's going to want to stick to your glove or to your tool. So the alcohol really does help. And it stays clear when you wear the gloves. When you take them off, it absorbs the oil from your hands, the natural oils from your hands, and it gets cloudy. So I do end up putting a chrome over the top of this, but if you want something that looks more glass-like, I would highly suggest keeping your gloves on, not just for safety reasons, but for artistic integrity. I'm also trying to kind of pop it off the nail on the edges so that it doesn't wrap around, because I want it to kind of stick out. Looking back, I kind of wish I would have kept it clear. It looks so pretty clear. But I think I needed revenge on the chrome for not sticking to the nail and decided to use it on this butterfly. This side, I was really trying to pop it off of the nail, get the base of it on there, get the base shape, and then pop that wing up. I do apologize for going off screen. Still working on that. Probably should have done a little bit of flash curing, because when you pop it off, it wants to kind of go back. It's almost like it has a little bit of a memory from how you shaped it, and it wanted to kind of curl back around that nail. But I tend to not like to flash cure the 3D art, because I want the availability to be able to adjust when I see everything in place. Kind of like when you're sketching, you leave things loose, if you know what I mean, so that you can readjust when you see everything else there. You say, oh, well, this is now too close, or this is now too big. And kind of the same way, I want to be able to adjust when I see all the pieces in place, what they are in scale to each other. So, but since gel basically wants to kind of go back to its original form, flash curing is probably the answer. At least when you're trying to get it to lift off the nail. See, it just keeps wanting to flop. So now it's in the lamp curing. And I took, these are also glitters from Daisio. I wanted to custom the glitter a little bit. So pretty. Gotta love the sparkles. And so this nail, I decided I would do the glitter and then encapsulate it. I love the look of sugar nails, or sugared nails. Problem is, I have a texture thing. And I guess it would have been fine for this set, since I wasn't really planning on wearing it. It was more just for playing. But I was creating a set, even if I wasn't going to wear it, in a way that I would want to wear it. So trying to get techniques down for nails that I do actually at some point want to wear. And I think having like that like kind of sandpapery feeling on my hand on a nail would drive me absolutely bonkers. So I probably won't do a ton of sugar nails. I would do teeny tiny little gems, but glitter's got that specific texture, and if I even found loose glitter like coming off of it, I would probably take the set off. So this is the next best thing for me, is to put the glitter on and then throw a top coat or a base coat or something over it, and then file it down and then put a top coat over it. I know it's not going to give me the same results. I mean, that's gorgeous. Like just looking at that nail with nothing on it is beautiful. I love the look. I just know it would make me crazy. Oh, I love the way that looks. But how do you ensure that that stays on? Do you need like an extra thick gel underneath it to make it stay on? So here I'm using the base coat, and is it the base coat or is it the top coat? I think it's base. Oh, top coat. It's top coat. This was like a month ago. I'm just still backed up on videos trying to edit them so I can make some new ones. And there I'm just kind of trying to float it on there, but it's not thick enough. What I need is like some sort of builder gel to get some thickness onto something I'm encapsulating, like glitter. More things to get, but at this point this is what I had, so this is what I decided to work with. Might have been better even to use one of the new glitter top coats I had gotten from my eNail Couture scoop. So I believe those are thicker. I haven't really played a ton with them, but that might have actually given me some extra body to this nail, because I'm going to file it down. And adding more glitter, I mean, more is more, right? And there I was turning it upside down, hoping to kind of get it to kind of collect in the middle. And I couldn't really get it to build, but that top coat's not meant for that, so that's okay. And here I go back into the Statico chrome just to make the butterfly completely blue. I needed a win with that chrome, so the butterfly was getting it. There I'm taking just a little bit of alcohol and wiping it down. Not that you can see it, but just a little bit that had gotten on the pinky purple. It's more purple in real life than pink. It's a really beautiful chrome, though. I love that color so much. Doing a little bit more cleanup with the alcohol. And I didn't have a matte coat, so I had to work a little bit harder on that to get the extra chrome off of the polish. That does really help a lot. So now I've got the glitter out of the lamp with the top coat, and I am going to buff that and get it nice and smooth. And I can definitely see where like a builder coat or some sort of thicker polish would have benefited this nail a lot. But it still came out cute. I wasn't unhappy with the results. I just know it can be better. I do like the colors that those two blues made. I think it's such a pretty glitter color. And this will end up being a base for more nail art. So that little jar came from eNail Couture, and it had such pretty little crystals and pearls, all sorts of fun little gems in it. It's a nice little mix. I decided to use that really pretty blue stone. There again, the Macart rhinestone blue. I've never worked with anything else, but at this point, I don't really see any reason to work with anything else because this stuff works so well. And it holds everything in place, but still gives you room to adjust if you need to. So at this point, it was getting late. I think I'm probably about 2 o'clock in the morning working on this. And I think I was forgetting to keep my nail in the frame. So it's a bit cut out because I just was sitting there messing with these gems, but they were not in the line of sight. And honestly, I messed with the placement of these gems for quite a while. It made me 100% hear Miss Jo in my head talking about faffing. So I was definitely faffing like a champ. So yeah, I'm using some caviar beads and just some of the regular clear gems and creating a little border for that blue stone. My husband said it looked like a mirror when I was done, and I totally saw that. I wasn't seeing that when I was making it. I was just playing until I found a design I liked. And I really needed to have been flash curing more often than I was, because I would get something where I like it and then put something else and it would move it out of the way. But, you know, live and learn. But yes, there was a lot of faffing. And being a perfectionist, I needed every stone, every bead to be in the right place, which I guess is a good thing. unless it's 2 in the morning. And there I've already added some more off camera because, you know, why not? I'm just filming a video. It's not like I need to show anybody what I'm actually doing. And there are those teeny, teeny, tiny, adorable little caviar beads. I think those are the smallest in the box. They are so tiny and so adorable. But yeah, it is definitely starting to look like a hand mirror. It's one of those things that once you see it, you can't unsee it. I had him in a good place. Had I flash cured that, it would have been good. There we go. Good girl. Right. And then I add a few more bits of bling to other things. Little stones, just the clear rhinestones on that for a little sparkle in the sky, in our purple sky. Purple pink. It looks much more pink here than in real life. And then I decided to, since it was kind of an abstract butterfly, to kind of go with more of a suggestion of the antennae. I did actually try to paint some on, but it just wasn't quite working. So I scrapped that and decided to just have a little hint. And I actually really like that. I think that's better than having them drawn on because it's not a very realistic butterfly anyway. So why start at the antennae? I don't know how the plural is antennae, maybe. Why start there with realism, right? And there I'm just kind of trying to clean that up. I got a little chrome on the body. I'm all over the place with what I'm doing. I think that's the risk when you're trying multiple things on multiple nails, is not having a filmable, cohesive, like, rhythm of things. But that's okay. And I did find a better brush here for more painterly clouds, and I really like that. And I move along a lot quicker here too because the brush is right and I'm not fighting the shape. A square shape trying to make round clouds or rounded clouds. Here I'm actually moving along a lot better. And that's on top of that pretty glitter base. And she's in the lamp. And here I'm just going to add a top coat. Seal everything in. I only showed part of that, but I promise the whole thing got a top coat. I wish I would have put some gems, like maybe like at the cuticle, like a little cuticle crown. I think that would have been pretty on that nail. And here, avoiding the actual crystals, but covering the caviar beads, I'm putting that top coat on. So sorry about it being out of frame again. How long does it normally take you all to make a set? Because this took me hours. Like, granted, there were a lot of like things that I did and then took off. There's a lot of nails that you didn't see because I didn't like them. But in general, how long does it take you to make 5 nails or 10 nails for that matter? Took me forever. I love that one. That one's so pretty. And that, my friends, is the completed set. I think overall it's a nice set. It's cohesive, it works. I know what I would do differently now. And I mean, I guess that's probably the way it's going to be for a while with all my sets. But it definitely taught me a lot. I learned quite a bit coming out of this set. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too frustrating to watch me be frustrated. And I will see you on the next set, hopefully. You have a fabulous, wonderful day.